Hello, this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're going to start our geometry topic and we're going to look at angles today. So first of all, I have a little table here to help us name and classify some of our angles. So in this first column, I've listed the size of the angle. So the first angle we want is less than 90 degrees. An angle that is less than 90 degrees is called an acute angle. Now to show you what that would look like, I'll draw you a quick little diagram over here. Oh. That angle there, in here, that angle would be less than 90 degrees. That is an acute angle. A 90-degree angle we call a right angle. Flat across the bottom, and then vertically goes upwards, like that. And to label a right angle, we put a little square in the corner to say it is a right angle. The next angle is between 90 and 180 degrees. We call that an obtuse angle. So the angles are getting bigger as we go down this table. So drawing the bottom arm of my angle, and then this one needs to be larger than the 90 degree. So somewhere coming out here. So that angle there would be an obtuse angle. A 180 degree angle is a straight angle. Okay, so you would have your first arm here, then you'd have your vertex, your point in the middle, and then your second arm would come out flat the other side. Okay, so it's a straight angle. Between 180 and 360 degrees is called a reflex angle. So there's the bottom of my angle, and it comes down past the 180 degrees now, down here. Okay, so going around there is a reflex angle. And the last one is a 360 degrees, which is called a revolution. So we start with our bottom arm. It would spin the whole way around and would finish on that arm as well. So it comes all the way around and ends up where it started from, and that's called a revolution. Okay, so we have a few examples to do today. Let's have a look over here at number 1. Classify each of the angles below according to their size. So this angle here, it has 145 degrees labeled on it. Which one in our table? What type of angle is that? Okay, these are too small, getting bigger. It looks a bit like this one, doesn't it? So it's between 90 and 180 degrees, so it's an obtuse angle. Okay, now the next one we have, it says 231 degrees there. So it has come past the straight line, the straight angle, and it's down here between 180 and 360. So it's a reflex angle. And this tiny little angle here is just a little one at the beginning. It's less than 90 degrees. It's 20 degrees here. It's an acute angle. Okay, so you need to know those names and be able to classify angles according to their size. Okay, the other thing we need to do in example number 2 here is to be able to use letters to name angles. So it says use the letters to name each angle and then use a protractor to measure its size. Okay, so to label the angle, we need to have some letters on both the arm and the vertex of the point. Okay, so this angle here, we always want to use 3 letters to name an angle. So the letter that is at the vertex must be in the middle of the 3 letters. And then we put one of these letters on either side. So for example, this angle here is angle ABC, because the B is where the point is. It is in the middle between the A and the C. You could also have called that angle CBA. That would also be correct, as long as the B is in between the A and the C. Okay. For the second one here, let's do the labeling first. We'll come back and measure them with the protractor. The T is in the middle, so I'm going to call this angle STU with the U in the middle. It could also have been angle UTS. Okay, now we want to know the size of the angle. So we get our protractor. Okay, to use a protractor, the center part here is this is the center of your protractor, the T at the bottom here. That needs to go on the vertex of your angle. So very carefully, I want that cross part to be on the very end of my angle. And then I want to line up this bottom arm here, this BC, with the bottom line of my protractor. So there we go. So see how that's directly on top there, and this line of my protractor and the line of the angle are on top of each other. Okay, so then to measure my angle, we have two sets of numbers. We have some numbers that start here at 0 and go around this way, and then we have one that starts at 0 and goes around this way. That just means that you can measure from either side. I could have my arm going out this way. Okay, we can measure from either side of the protractor. But because I've chosen to have my arm on this side, I need to start with the inner row of numbers where the 0 is, okay? So this is my arm. I need to start with that 0, and I need to come around until I find where my other arm is going to be. So if we have a look, if we try to extend that out there to in between here, it would be about 43 degrees, maybe 44 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to say 43 degrees is the size of my angle that we've just worked out there. Okay, let's try it again. Let's measure it again for this second one. This time what I might do to make it easier to measure is make the arms of my angle a little bit longer. Okay, so extend those out like that, and this one down here. Okay, now just to show you a little bit differently, I'm going to use this arm as my base angle, this base arm this time, putting the center of my protractor on there and lining up this arm to be on that base line. Okay, as accurately as you can. A tiny little movement will make it a few degrees out. Okay, so this time this arm is pointing to the 0 on the outside set of numbers. So coming around the outside set of numbers all the way around to my angle over here. And because I've extended it out, I can see that it comes all the way out here. So I've got 120, 130. I'm at 135 degrees. So angle STU is equal to 135 degrees. It is an obtuse angle. Okay, so that is how you name and measure your angles. Okay, now for question 3. Use a ruler and a protractor to draw an angle of 135 degrees. Okay, well now we want to draw the angle ourselves. So we get the ruler out and we draw the base, what we want to be the base arm of our angle. Okay, so there's my base arm. Okay, that's going to be my vertex there. Okay, so now I put my protractor where I put the center of my protractor on that point that I've made, and make sure I line this bottom line of the protractor up so they're sitting right on top of each other. Okay, so now I have to start with the arm that I'm on and find the 0, which is going to be the inside set of numbers, and come all the way around to 135. So 100, 110, 120, 130, 135 is going to be there. And put a little mark at the edge of your protractor. Okay, take the protractor away, bring the ruler back, and we can draw a line from our vertex out to our mark. And that would make this 135 degrees. Okay, so that's all I want to teach you today. That's the end of our lesson part, and I just have a few questions here for you to practice. So if you pause the video, these questions are just like the ones I've shown you. Give them a go and then restart to see your answer. So for question 1, classify each angle according to its size. So this one, it's a bit hard to tell. Could be a right angle. We could use our protractor if we're a little bit unsure. Does it make exactly 90 degrees? Oh, it actually does. Okay, so that first one is going to be a right angle. Okay, this next one is bigger than the right angle, making it an obtuse angle. Okay, on to question 2. Use the letter name to name each angle and then use a protractor to determine the angle size. Okay, so this angle I'm going to call angle, the Z has to be in the middle. I'm going to call it angle AZY. You would also be correct if you wrote angle YZA. Then putting the protractor on, carefully lining up that bottom line. Find the 0 and come all the way around to the second arm. So we're using the inside numbers in here. So it's about 160, I'm going to say 168. Okay, so that's equal to 168 degrees. Okay, this angle here, we'll call that angle VWX. Okay, how big is angle VWX? Let's put the protractor on there. Line everything up. The 0 starting here, coming around, and we're right on this line, which is 40 degrees. Okay, and for question 3, use a ruler and a protractor to draw an angle of 75 degrees. So, just to be different this time, I'm going to put my vertex on the right-hand side of the line. 75 degrees, lining this up. Okay, we're using the outside number, so there's the 0 there. Around to 75, put a little mark, and then use the ruler to connect them up. There we go. Label in here that is 75 degrees, and we're all done. That's the end of our lesson today. Keep practicing and join me again next time. Bye.